great example for honoring the lives of young men who were lost too soon. And this one hurts. It's going to hurt for a while. We've got a football team in there that battled really hard for the last 10 months to get to this point. And do they deserve to win? I believe so, because of the people that they are and what they've been through. But unfortunately, the game of football, it's not a game of deserve. It's about what you earn. And today, unfortunately, we didn't make enough plays. We weren't a disciplined enough football team to win. But we'll respond. But I still believe that the young men laid it on the line and celebrated the lives of Lavelle, Devin, and Deshaun the best way that a football player knows how to just leave it on the field. So, I love those three young men. Miss them daily. My heart goes out to their families because of just the devastation that they live with on a daily basis. But a lot of people to thank, and hopefully I didn't miss anybody. But there were a lot of people that were involved in the ceremony, and I thought it was done very well. I thank the other head coaches at the university for showing up in support of our football team.
We'll start with Jay. Jay, I'll get you the mic.
Coach, obviously in a game like this, I don't know if you've ever been a part of something with this many emotional ebbs and flows in terms of within the football game itself. How difficult was it after having all of the momentum and playing so well, going into the lightning delay beyond your control, obviously, but did you see difficulty in trying to execute as you guys came back into the extra session or finishing the fourth quarter?
That's a challenging situation to manage because you don't know how long it is, and so you're trying to get the guys refueled, rested. You want them to stay locked in, so you're trying to keep them off their phones and keep them focused, but you don't know how long you're going to be in there with the delay. But we're not going to use that as an excuse. We had our opportunity, as I told the team in the locker room. We had our opportunities on the field, and we didn't make enough of the plays that we needed to make. And hats off to Coach Nettie and JMU, great program for winning the game, and their kids played hard and they battled. But when we look at it, there were some opportunities where we could have of taking more advantage of the momentum swings in the game, and we didn't quite do it.
Last couple of things for Coach Elliott. Offensively, from what you saw in the fourth quarter, in terms of obviously JMU scores the 2 touchdowns, but you weren't able to put points on the board. What did you see? I know you haven't watched the tape, but that you saw offensively.
Yeah, we weren't able to establish the run, and then with the pressures, there were a couple times. Took some chances, and they had a good call, and you're hoping that your quarterback can make you right, but it's a young guy in there, and he's got to learn on the job training. But we couldn't establish a run to stay ahead of the chains, and when we're not staying ahead of the chains, it's very difficult to convert, long yardage, and then we had the penalties there, at the end, that when we tried to get some momentum, it called it back.
Final thing, Coach, you referenced your true freshman quarterback, who at one point we talked at halftime was 11 of 12, 172 yards in the first half. I'm not sure if he finished with over 400 yards. They were, he's a young guy, so you mentioned mistakes, but overall, the situation he was put in, your thoughts on his performance?
Yeah, tough situation, but he was prepared, he was ready. He did what he showed us throughout the course of fall camp, which extended the competition, into way into fall camp between he and Tony. And we knew that he's a guy that when the lights come on, the bigger the stage, he seems like he elevates. I thought he did a good job of managing the system, making throws, and then he did what he does with the off-schedule plays, where he's kind of you think you got him, and the next thing he pops out and he finds a guy on the run. So, but still going to be some opportunities for him to learn. But overall, just really proud of the situation and the circumstances stepping there, as a true freshman, considering obviously Tony going down and then everything else that he had to be a part of managing to get to this game.
We'll go Jeff and Greg.
You and the whole program of the university invested so much in this weekend, in this game. What do you tell the players after a game like this? You got 10 games left, obviously.
So, man, we're gonna hurt for the night, and then we're gonna get up in the morning. We're gonna get ready for Maryland. I mean, that's the mindset that I'm trying to establish within the program. And what I told them, prior to the game is that this is a defining moment, right? This is an opportunity where we take the next step to having a true, consistent winning mindset, and not, winning when it's convenient, winning when, you're playing a lesser opponent, but, every day you wake up, you have that winning mindset. Every day you practice with that winning mindset, and you're not necessarily playing to a scoreboard, but you're playing to a standard. And that's, there's going to be a lot to learn in this loss, and we know, and it hurts. And there's a lot of young people in that locker room that are hurting, and it's my job to teach them how to process that hurt. But what I told them is, hey, we had our opportunities, right? We got to go earn victory. Nobody's going to give us anything, right? We have to earn victory, and we earn it every day in practice. We earn it every day going to class. We earn it every day in everything that we do, so that when you're in a four-quarter ball game, every play matters. And so we still got, some work to do there collectively, right? And what I told them is we're only going to be as good as our total commitment and our collective commitment as a team and as a program. So if we got one guy in there that doesn't have the same level of belief as everybody else, then we're only going to be as good as the 99 out of 100. Right, and my job is to make sure that I figure out, who are the guys that may not be to that point, and then figure out how do I get them up to the level where everybody is, so we can be consistent across the board and take advantage of opportunities like we had today.
The explosive plays you got today from Kobe, from Malik, is that personnel and having a couple of guys that are capable of doing it? Is it guys knowing the offense a little better? Is it a little bit of Calandria? How do you?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think the play that you saw with Kobe, Calandria is flushed in the pocket, right? So we have a breakdown in protection that forces him to have to flush the pocket, and then he doesn't panic. He keeps his eyes down the field. He finds Kobe. So it's a combination of two of those guys. So we weren't great in protection, and then the quarterback found a way to erase it and make it right. And then you see a couple plays Malik went up and got. The ball's not perfect ball placement, but he found a way to go up and get it. And so that's what a team does, right? That's where when guys have cohesion and chemistry, they're able to make each other right. So I think it's a combination of the individuals. I think it's a combination of the situation, and then also a better understanding of what we're trying to do.
Go Mike, and then in the back.
Yeah, Tony, considering how well Calandria played today, what are your thoughts going forward at that position? And is that an open battle? Do you not lose your job for an injury? How do you approach that?
My approach is that you don't lose your job for an injury, right? But it gives us a tremendous amount of confidence, in Calandria, and we'll assess Tony, see where he is. Today he was available in an emergency situation, so I anticipate that by the time we get ready to roll out next week, he should be back ready to go. But don't quote me on that yet. I got to wait to see what the doctor says. But my approach has been you don't lose it, but we're going to need both of them, to be honest with you. And I think that just competition is great, right? I think healthy competition is really, really good. Because it makes each other better, and then it helps our football team in case. I mean, it's a long season. We got 10 more football games, and we're gonna play some physical football games. And so we got to do a good job of balancing that competition. But we'll see where Tony is, and then figure that out as we go through the week.
Two-part question, Coach. One, you emotionally, I saw you pregame with families and stuff. How do you keep that together while you're trying to coach? And the other part is, how proud are you of Mike Hollins?
So I'll talk about Mike first. I mean, he's a walking miracle, and I'm gonna say that every time I get asked about him. For him to be able to play today, I don't think people understand just the magnitude of him to be able to take the field. And I know it's been 10 months, and I know we've now had the memorial service, but man, there's a lot of devastation that was caused on November 13th. That will take years and years and years and years, right? Not to fix, but just to kind of ease and where people can get to the point to where they can move forward. And for him to be able to play the way that I've seen him persevere and push through on the practice field day in and day out, and to play, not just play, but to play at a high level. And that just is a testament to his internal fortitude, who he is as a person, how much belief he has. And then for me, all right, it's a tough deal because I'm the head coach, right? I got to go. So, and I got to figure it out. And so everybody's watching me. All those kids are watching me. My staff's watching me. And I'm human, so there's going to be moments where I am emotional, but I got to figure out the best way to channel those in the right direction to lead this football team and this football program to where we all believe that we're capable of going.
Hey, Tony, the guys have said that the way they honor the legacy, it won't matter what the scoreboard says at the end of the game. Does having a game end like this maybe change that a little bit, put some more urgency into the result part of that?
I mean, when you start talking about the legacies of Lavelle, Devin, and Deshaun, man, I won't ever put a record or a scoreboard. I mean, these are human beings. These are lives, and that's a result. Because 2, 3, 4 years from now, it's just a piece of paper when you talk about wins and losses and scores. So I personally won't ever, right, compare their legacy or make the impact of their legacy connected to the outcome of the game. Do I want to win? Do I want to honor them? You're doing right. Do they deserve that? Is that my expectation? Yes. But at the end of the day, the real legacy is how these young men live their lives going forward, right? And how they do things and share the smile of Devin and Lavelle, to the Renaissance man, how you share that with Deshaun. That's really what the legacy is. And so they're young. I got to teach them. They're learning. They're willing. Unfortunately, we're having some tough learning experiences right now, but it's not going to be for naught. It's going to be for something beautiful. I still believe in tragedy or triumph. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what the scoreboard is. Like, no one's going to change my mind, right? Even if it's if we don't win another game, like, that's not going to change. And that's where we're headed as a program. And that's my challenge to everybody. Because when we all have that same mindset, then we're going to be able to do something very, very, very beautiful. And it won't be relative to the scoreboard. It'll be relative to the impact that we make, on a daily basis.
We'll take our last 2 questions from Henry and Brad.
Tony, as a follow-up to that, when you know your team has poured everything into this game and to lose the way that you did, having a young team like you do, how much do you worry that they will allow something like this to linger, knowing how badly they wanted to win this one for their teammates?
That's my job, to make sure that it doesn't. Right? Just like immediately in the locker room, I called everybody up. Like, we're not gonna start getting in our own heads and listening to outside voices, right? Because what's the reality? And the reality is, we win the football game. Then what? Tomorrow morning we wake up and we got to go get ready for Maryland, right? And so your responsibility as a player is to pour everything you have into every game. Like, football is different than a lot of other sports. We only get 12 opportunities a year. We practice all year long for 12 opportunities. Every one of them is important. Every one of them is special. And you have a responsibility to your teammates to pour everything that you have into every single game. And you're not doing it just because you want to win. You're doing it because you love the man next to you. And so that's why, going back to the last question, if they can look in the mirror and say, you know what, I laid it on the line, and you know what, I honor the legacy of my brothers the right way. And unfortunately, the score didn't go our way, but it will in due time. And then there's going to be times when you do win, and then you can say, you know what, I got a lot of work to do to improve. So it's that delicate balance, but it's my job to make sure that the staff and the players, they don't stop believing. I'm not going to stop believing, and I don't want people around me who don't want to believe.
Last question with Brad.
Last year, your offense had some struggles. Was today pretty good piece of information put out there, right? Last year, your defense was pretty solid. Some really rough spots in it. What would you attribute what you saw defensively for you guys?
I mean, that's the thing that and I was raised this way and brought up this way in coaching, that touchdowns don't carry over from the previous year. Tackles don't carry over from the previous year. You got to do it every single day, and until we tackle better, we're going to have the results that we're having. Until we, everybody's in unison up front with the 5 guys, at times, or the receivers in the right place. And until we do those things, we're going to. So every team is different. They got to earn their own right, so to speak, right? So last year is last year. We're not the same. Either way, like, I know we got more veterans back defensively, but we're still not the same. We did lose some components that we have to get up to speed to get back to where we want to go. So the biggest thing is we got to tackle better. We got to do our job when we're supposed to do our job. We got to fit when we're supposed to fit, and that's our job as coaches to clean that up. And that's what we'll go to work starting tonight. To be honest with you, we'll start tonight and be back on the practice field tomorrow, getting ready for Maryland, and see can we get those mistakes corrected.